Welcome back. Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. Yeah. Insane. Absolutely insane. Such a damn shame.
You're watching Young Tripp Reactions, the show where rapper Young Tripp reacts to the latest videos on crime, drama, news, and so much more. Get ready, because the show's about to start.
Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. The next video we're gonna do is if you're not employed after 2 years, then you're either doing something seriously wrong or something is wrong. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any videos that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Also, make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram, because I post over there as well too. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB and my professional Instagram. If the situation involves a friend or a loved one, see if they want to come on and talk about their situation. If they don't, then you as a friend or relative can come on and speak and talk for them, or you guys can write a statement. Either way is fine. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram. And let's get into this.
If you've been unemployed for 2 years and claim you can't find a job, you're either doing something seriously wrong or not getting the full story, or you don't need the money bad enough. Especially when I hear these stories from white-collar corporate workers who have been laid off and claim they can't find a job in 2 years because the economy is so bad, I call bullshit. And I'm going to give you a couple real examples I heard recently. One of my friends was telling me that she knows someone, a guy who's been laid off, and it took him over 2 years to find a job, and he still can't find a job. And I pressed her on this. I said, well, what was he doing? He was in a VP of sales role at a tech company, high up, making lots of money. I said, oh, wow. So what kind of roles has he been looking for? Well, similar types of roles. Okay, well, that's going to be really competitive, but why doesn't he go look at managerial roles? Or shit, why doesn't he go work at a restaurant if he's that desperate? Well, his wife's a doctor. Oh, okay, so you're telling me...
So people think that, oh, I have to go instantly to do the same type of work or make the same type of money I was making. And in the case of like a man, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want my significant other to leave me because I went to go work at a restaurant. Because women be having these mindsets that I have to date somebody that's like this, or my husband has to stay in the role that he was doing, or my boyfriend or whatever. While us men, we will talk to somebody who is not, they don't have to be, super big in their company and stuff. They could just be an average everyday person and we'll, rock with them. Women, because they want to look at everything as a financial aspect, this man probably feels like he can't go get a regular job, and that's sad. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue. But he needs to, because I'm sure he got kids and everything else too. Insane. But he's probably more worried about how his wife is going to be able to handle it, because she probably lives a certain lifestyle. Let's continue.
He's going around saying, okay, well, that's going to be really competitive, but why doesn't he go look at managerial roles? Or shit, why doesn't he go work at a restaurant if he's that desperate? Well, his wife's a doctor. Oh, okay, so you're telling me he's going around saying how bad the job market is and making other people scared. And meanwhile, he clearly doesn't need the money that bad. There's one story. Another story that I heard recently is a guy who's been without a job for about a year, got laid off, kind of claims, rough economy out there. Well, turns out he got about a year severance from his company.
So basically what she's saying, give me a little bit of rope here. Basically what she's saying is a similar sentiment that I've been echoing on this platform, on the Millionaire Morning Show, and on Room 9, and that people are only interested in the jobs that they're interested in, to which if it makes it more difficult for them to find a job in that particular field, and we all know that the higher you go up, the less that the jobs are available. So, for example, in the instance where she was talking about the VP of sales, in which he was making a lot of money, and his woman is a doctor and all of that, he probably doesn't feel the same sense of urgency as a person that is living paycheck to paycheck and is willing to take what they can so that they can survive, while at the same time possibly looking for another position that's similar to the thing that they got laid off in, or let go in, or called a severance in. And so people do not feel a sense of urgency. And the part that bothers me the most in these posts are, A, when people try to fearmonger everybody else. They want to make it seem like, oh my God, it's so bad, it's crazy out here, whatever. When I know people that got laid off and they never had any gap in employment. That's number one. But number two, they try to compare it to 2008. And nothing in my lifetime compares to 2008. You'd have to go before 1982 before you compared anything to 2008, because 2008, especially right here in Detroit, where it got hit the hardest over any other city, was the worst ever. I will never, ever forget what I've been through, what I experienced, how things was playing out, the amount of jobs that was lost, the people that was in shambles. The only other place that I visited around that time, a little bit after 2008, in which I was able to communicate with people to find out exactly how hard hit it was Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas, being a tourist destination, the first thing that people do when they don't have no money, or when they, down on their luck, is they cut out all travel, they cut out all, fun, leisure activity, all of that type of stuff. And so the only people that were in Vegas wasn't necessarily visitors, but it was the degenerate gamblers, right? And I remember when we went to Vegas a little bit after 2008, after 2020. So this might have been 2021 or whatever. It was around the time that prior to them actually opening everything up completely, they were requiring for people to put these little partitions in between each person that was at the crap table. If you went to the blackjack table, they had put these little glass or plastic partitions, and it wasn't anywhere near the same as what was experienced over in Las Vegas in 2008. It was the worst situation I ever seen in my entire life. People were fighting.
Advertisement, yo.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me about $2,700 in semi-passive income. Now, here's the thing. I don't own it, and I don't pay any rent. Now, here's
in 2008. It was the worst situation I ever seen in my entire life. People were fighting for the little suits where people be twirling the signs on the side of the road. It was a flower shop one, and it was a bee one. And people were fighting to get that position. Any position. Fast food, construction, anything that people can do, at least here in Metro Detroit and Detroit, anything that people can do to get their hands on a couple dollars, people were willing to do it. Wasn't no gig economy back then. You couldn't do no Instacart. I don't think that Uber wasn't a thing in 2008 either. Nope, sure wasn't. Uber wasn't a thing in 08, especially here in Detroit. Wasn't none of that. You just had to figure it out. You had to hustle. You had to sell whatever you could online. I did whatever it took. I had 2 jobs. I was working at Home Depot overnight, and then I was doing a full 100% sales job, door-to-door sales, door-to-door business sales, and then at the same time, I was able to get out of door-to-door sales because I wound up getting a call center job in which we was doing insurance verification to make sure that people that was on people benefits were supposed to be on people benefits. You had the auto industry in shambles. People were getting laid off by the hundreds of thousands at the time. And so when people try to compare it to 2008 or they try to make a similar assessment, especially for the people that wasn't even alive or of age at that particular time, I laugh. I think it's hilarious how people try to make it seem like, oh my God, it's so bad. Nah. If you was able to make it through 2008 and you suffered, especially if you was from Detroit, you can make it through anything. You know how they say, yo, in New York, you know what I'm saying? You make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. You can make it in Detroit in 08. You can make it anywhere. And a lot of people moved out of the city. It was a lot of abandoned buildings. I wound up starting my YouTube channel. A lot of my YouTube channel, this channel that you're looking at right now, was urban exploration, me highlighting different things and different situations. And I explored a lot of abandoned schools, the old Pontiac Silverdome. All of those things became a part of some of the greatest, most viral videos that this channel has ever seen and experienced. But my point that I'm making is that people truly are fear-mongering just based off of that, fear alone. And they're not adding the context. They're not telling you, no, listen, I'm only looking for jobs that's $300,000 and more. They're not telling you that, yep, I got a big severance and I've been able to chill, so I haven't really been taking it as serious as possible. They're not telling you that they're willing to take jobs that pay a significant amount lower, and so they tailor their resume in order to get it, but instead they just put it up there and just act overqualified. They're not telling you any of this. But they will tell you that everything is just so bad in the economy, so you got to be careful because, oh my God, BS, all BS.
A lot of people who have been laid off get 8 to 12 months severance, and that's great. I've never been in that position, but what a privileged place to be in. So you're telling me if you decide to take those funds and take a year off for yourself, you're going to call yourself unemployed and then go scare other people that the job market's bad? No. Here's the thing. When I left corporate last year, that was all I had ever worked in for 10 years. I went and found 2 job opportunities in less than 3 weeks on Indeed that I had no business being qualified for. One was as a pastry cook. Shit, I can barely bake things out of a box. Another one was for a server at an organic olive oil restaurant.
See, she's just applying to, average everyday jobs. People don't want to go get an average everyday job. One, because they, oh, I'm so overqualified, or I should be getting, $6K and all that, making this big money because my wife's a doctor. So what? If your wife really loves you, she'll accept that you just have a everyday job right now. There's nothing wrong with just having an everyday job. Most people have an everyday job. But again, I know as well too how women try to portray like my dude gotta be making this amount of money and he gotta be this tall and we gotta own this already. And I've talked about that already in so many videos, so I'm not gonna go down all that. But it's sad that people can't even just get an everyday job because they're also worried about how their loved ones, particularly significant others, are going to react, especially on the men's side. It is absolutely insane. Let's continue.
I haven't served in overcooked. Shit, I can barely bake things out of a box. Another one was for a server at an organic olive oil restaurant. I haven't served in over 10 years since I was in college, even more. I think I'm doing the math, like 13 years. And I got those jobs through Indeed. So what do you mean there aren't jobs? Oh, and then I love this one when people from corporate tell me, well, I'm overqualified to work in a restaurant. Says fucking who? I've never heard of someone being overqualified to take an order and serve drinks and food. I think that's in your head, and I want to know how many restaurants have you actually gone out and applied for, or are you just using that as an excuse because your ego won't let you go work in those places because they're not as prestigious as your white-collar corporate job?
And most of the time, it is ego and what somebody else is going to think, and that's the thing about most people, men and women, especially women, worried about how people think about stuff, and that's why they can't do certain things, pick right when it comes to being in a relationship, just multiple different other things. in general for people, and like I said, men and women. The ego, all that. Oh, my ego's not gonna let me go work at a restaurant. I'm overqualified, like this lady, is saying like that she keeps hearing about. Absolutely insane. A job is a job, and you will have a paycheck, and that's the way you need to look at it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Everyone in their head, and I want to know, how many restaurants have you actually gone out and applied for? Or are you just using that as an excuse because your ego won't let you go work in those places because they're not as prestigious as your white collar corporate job? Everyone and their freaking brother is hiring in this country. There are jobs out there. If you have seriously been applying for 2 years and you claim, I desperately need the money, I need a job, if it's been 2 years, honey, you have more problems. We need to talk because I need to know what you're doing wrong. I need to know. Either you got something in that background check coming up, you're not able to articulate yourself, as I can't do now, in interviews, your resume's wrong. Like, those things someone out there can help you with. But 2 years of active job searching and you're complaining you're unemployed, and then you're scaring other people who actually might want to get out of their sorry-ass job to go find something better for themselves, telling them, oh, well, the economy sucks, don't ever leave your job, it's scary out here. Okay, but if you really need a job and you need the money, there are lots of options. Lots of options. You can be a freaking teaching assistant through Indeed. I had an interview for that. No background in teaching. Like, if you can form a sentence and show up on time, which assuming you can, there are jobs out there for you.
Yeah, I was talking about, we was talking about this conversation about a content creator, and he was saying that, how much the debate over paying for a cameraman, right? And previously, like a couple years ago, I had publicly talked about a position that I was looking to hire for when it came to content creation. And I said, it's going to be paying a significant amount of money. I don't even want to say it. It's so much money, it's crazy. Because I'm a really generous person, unfortunately, and I think that a lot of people actually take advantage of that. But the story is that I had said that I needed somebody to work for me in the content creation space, editor, producer, somebody to kind of, be another me, but not necessarily me. But at the same time, it paid a significant amount of money. A significant amount of money. You know that people were sitting here telling me that, oh, no, man, you got to work no more than 40 hours a week. Oh, man, I would never even consider that. People are stuck up. They are very much ego-driven. It's a lot of different mentalities that's playing out outside in these YouTube and in this economy and in these streets. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T Gently, 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.
Okay, what's your name, sweetheart?
Advertising, yeah.
You can just call me ChatGPT.
Yeah, like Anton said, and like the lady just said, a lot of people are stuck up and don't want to just accept getting a job because they need a job right now. If you need a job right now, you need a job right now. Doesn't matter if it's what you know how to do. I mean, I work in a warehouse. I've worked in plenty of warehouses, but I also have a culinary degree. And I do culinary, but I also do warehouse work. I also do reactions now. Anton, along with Dante from the Dante Show Network, got me into doing it. I obviously can do it real well. I'm very close to even being monetized now, because obviously I didn't drop enough music to get monetized fast enough all the time. So obviously reactions help me do that because I drop reactions every day, right? So many people, I just did a reaction to a video about people regarding the whole new 8,000 hours of watch time, and people complain that they're never going to get there. I did a reaction to that and talked about that. But then I also made a video of me just sitting here talking, and it even has quite a few views now too, a little bit of some views, of me talking about people needing to figure out if the niche that they're doing is working. so many people, oh, I want to be a blogger. I want to be a streamer. I want to be like I Show Speed. I want to be like, Willie D, or I want to be like this person. The thing is, if you don't know what you're talking about being a content creator, and you're talking about something you don't know about, or you're making videos and nobody likes to hear you talk about what you're talking about, then you're not going to gain subscribers. If you do gain subscribers, you're not going to get nobody watching your videos. The same thing with a job. Just because you had a big old corporate job making six figures doesn't mean that that's what you're going to go back to doing. You may have to go work at an Applebee's or Chili's, or go be a manager there for a little while until you find something else. You may have to try other niches, and another niche may stick better than the niche you wanted to do. I wanted to, on top of doing my music, I wanted to do blogging. Blogging wasn't going to work because of the editing with my eyesight and taking the parts out that don't need to be in there, like just riding in a car or walking somewhere. And that just wasn't going to work. See, because of me being visually impaired, I had to learn a long time ago that everything that I want to do, I may not be able to do because of my condition. I always wanted to be a homicide detective. I'm not sitting around crying because I couldn't be a homicide detective. Now I hold uncivilized cops accountable. I hold uncivilized suspects accountable on my channel, doing reactions to do what I want to do as a police officer. Maybe this is what God wanted me to do for that. I work at a warehouse. I have a culinary degree and went to culinary school. I work at a very successful hotel, a very popular hotel at that. So you got to be open-minded to all things, as I even stated in my reaction about the niches on YouTube. You have to be the same way about a job as well, too, about like an everyday job and stuff, or even when you lose your corporate job, may have to go to an everyday job for a little while, that you probably be like, I would have never thought I would have to come back and work at a Chili's again or something like that. So, yeah. Let me know what y'all think. I'll have the original video pinned at the top of the chat and at the top of the link in the description. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram, because I post over there as well too. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB and my professional Instagram. Let me know about the civil rights attorneys involved, similar to Ben Crump or Ben Crump himself. Let me know about the activists that are involved as well too, where I can join them in the fight for justice for you or your loved one. If it does involve a friend or a loved one, see if they want to come onto the channel, talk about their story, say, talk about what happened and say what happened. If it involves the police or whoever it involves, if they're not in a situation where they can come on and speak, you can come on and speak for them as a friend or relative, or if they just don't want to, you can as a friend or relative, or you guys can write a statement and then I can pull the public information and get it out there as well too that way. And the same thing involves if it's something involving you. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram. And people better be open-minded to maybe you may have to downsize for a little while and work your way back up after falling down for working for a company. Just like the same thing like I talked about with niches on YouTube. If it's not working, you may have to consider changing your niche. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family, and I'm out. Peace.